Hey guys, Magic Man here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a game in the Tier 6 Ognevoi. It is the Tier 6 Russian Destroyer, and I'm in a Tier 6 match with two carriers on each side, which kind of sucks to the Destroyer, because they're really kind of a hard counter to you. And I actually noticed as I was loading into this game that the division on the enemy team is actually some guys from the fleet that I'm in, and actually had to jump down into their TeamSpeak channel and talk a little bit of trash to them before the game started. But it is a standard battle, so objective is to either kill all the enemy team or cap their base. And so in an effort to do that, I'm going to push up to about the bottom of the D line and see if I can't spot some of the enemy team, kind of get a good idea of how they're going or how they are deploying. But that's kind of the game plan for right now. The Ognevoi as a destroyer, I'm kind of a huge fan of it. I think it's a very good ship, but a lot of people they don't seem to agree with me, mainly because of the two turrets setup. It's very RNG-ish as far as the dispersion goes, because the sigma value is kind of low on this ship. So, and you'll see a lot in this replay, the shots out of one turret will split apart quite widely, and then shots out of another turret will be very tightly grouped together. So that's just something you're gonna see in this replay, and I'm not quite sure why I didn't have my anti-air on. I mean, most of the time I turned it off, but there was really no reason for me to keep it off there. I could have shot at those planes without incurring any harm to myself. What is what it is. Spotted a couple of the enemy ships. It looks like they're deploying semi-evenly from the ships that I've seen so far. Got a couple of cruisers and battleships on the eastern side of the map, and a couple of cruisers and battleships over here on the western side of the map. And it really sucks that I'm playing against a carrier in the same fleet as me, because he actually sort of understands the danger I pose, and he's doing a pretty good job of actually keeping me spotted while he's attacking the easier targets. One of the best things you can do as a carrier player if you're playing against somebody who you know is dangerous in a destroyer is take out all of his friends, kind of keep him spotted with your planes, and you'll find out that you can kill a destroyer pretty easily regardless of who he is, once all of his friends are gone. But anyways, I do spot a farragut over here on the western side of the map. He is so far forward though, he's basically going to throw away his ship. I understand you're in a destroyer, but you should never be this far forward. And oopsie, I just realized that I still had AT loaded from the last game I played, so switch over to HE. Unfortunately, those last two shots with HE got fired right into the mountain, or the island, not so much of a mountain. But basically gonna wait for this farragut to come around the corner, see if I can hit him. And that's a really bad shot. This guy has his engine going. I should have known I needed to lead him a little bit more, but it's just not working out for him. Just not being able to hit him. And because the last couple of times I just sailed straight over him. On the horizontal axis there a little bit too much. And I decided to fire at this cruiser over here. Thinking maybe I can get a fire on him before he goes around that corner. And sure enough, land 3 shells on him and we start a fire. And unfortunately, our friendly Minikaze just died to the torpedoes that were from the Furitaka, I assume. But I have a hard time telling from where I'm currently at. Not that it matters
Torpedoes
much.
to starboard.
But I actually busted a 180 here. I don't want to get too close to this farragut because the closer I get to him, the more of an advantage he is going to have. So I turn around, and if he starts shooting at me, I'm definitely going to have the advantage and start unloading on him. And that's when he gets killed by the friendly Baron. So he is done for, and I see that this Furitaka is basically heading straight for this island. So I lob a shot over it to see if I hit him, and we just miss. So I'm actually heading back over into the middle of the map. I haven't seen any of the enemy destroyers. I'm thinking maybe they're kind of hanging around there because there don't seem to be a whole lot of friendlies around that area. And that's when this New Mexico decided to come around the corner. Figured since I got nothing else to shoot at, might as well see if I can light some fires on them, get them roasting. At this range, I didn't really feel too threatened, and that was the salvo from the New York, way the heck over there on the western side of the map. I'm not quite sure what he was doing shooting at me, because he's definitely got bigger problems in the form of our battleship coming up on him. And as you saw there, the Mexico fired a shot at me and then decided to fire the rest of his guns, kind of like a ranging shot. Fortunately he missed, or fortunately, unfortunate for him. But that's what I'm talking about with the high or low sigma value for this ship. See, the shells are kind of spreading pretty far apart at this range, and it's pretty sad, but yeah, it's causing me to have a hard time hitting this New Mexico. Definitely landed a couple of shells on them. It'd be nice if I could land all of them, but can't have everything. And then Mexico decided to switch fire. I guess he got tired of wasting his shots on me. The Ognevoi is a very low profile destroyer, with the exception of the front of the ship, which kind of sticks up out of the water, but the rest of it is very low to the water. And slight course adjustments when people are shooting at you are really going to mess them up. You're going to be a very hard target to hit. Now, I was trying to catch that New Mexico on fire. I wasn't having too good of a time. Oh, and that last salvo did catch him on fire, so he's going to burn for a while. And that's when I spotted the enemy destroyer. And the reason I'm smoking up here is not because I'm afraid of this enemy destroyer, which is quite opposite in fact. But those dive bombers that come in the enemy carrier there, I did not want to get dropped on. Because destroyers in general seem to have a bad habit of when a dive bomber actually hits them, they have a bad habit of being detonated and your game ending very abruptly. Not a huge fan of the detonation mechanic, but according to Wargaming, it is fun and engaging. Not quite sure how your game ending on being at full health is fun and engaging mechanic, but according to them, losing your ship to a dive bomber, that's fun. And I'm just sitting here in the smoke waiting for this dive bomber to drop its load. Okay, and they did, and I'm going to exit it because I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the target of those. And that's when we spot another enemy destroyer. So there are two of them in one spot, kind of moving it up. Fire off at him, and we're going to land some shots. Incapacitation. Knocked out one of his back guns.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Missed that. Japanese destroyers are very hard to hit at longer ranges. They're just so small. And I was kind of zooming in and out there to see if I could manage to dodge those torpedoes, but I don't have to bother with it because they ran out of range. So now I can just blaze away on the Cleveland, and you're actually going to see me switch over to AP here. Even at this range, 10 kilometers, I'm still going to do more damage with this armor piercing than I am HE. Because the Cleveland's armor is just, in my opinion, it's kind of bad. But, I mean, pretty much most cruisers' armor not that great against your 130mm guns. And he is turning out now. He's finally realizing that he's getting beat up there. And while I was firing at this guy, I didn't realize it, but it was actually one of my fleet mates who was captaining that thing. And unfortunately, one of the salvos that he landed on me knocked out my engine. But I do have the last stand skill, so I'm still kind of moving. But I go ahead and repair it because I wanted to get out of the range of the secondaries of this banger. Because these German battleships, their secondaries are very dangerous to destroy. And he takes a shot with his back turrets there and misses. A lot of times if you're moving away at an angle, it's very hard for people to hit. It's probably one of the hardest shots in the game. And you'll see me do that a lot. Especially Russians, because they just move so fast. And that Cleveland is taking shots at me, but he is missing. Cleveland's shell arcs are just so rainbowish at long range. It's hard to hit anything that's 10 kilometers unless it's like a battleship. And I'm just blazing away at this guy with the HP. I'm trying to get a fire set here. It's just not working out for me. The RNG will is just not helping me any. And unfortunately, he is now behind this island, so I can no longer shoot him. So I have to get around this thing. I was trying to keep our carrier from dying, but it looks like he's gonna go ahead and get himself killed anyways. There wasn't much I could do at this point. This guy, I think he's pretty much done here. Used off the dive bombers drop on him. Started 2 fires. I'm really thinking now if I can get some fires started, it'll be business. Because it's definitely going to stick. He's going to burn for a while. And actually stray into secondary range here. Didn't mean to, it just kind of happened. Because I didn't feel like I could retreat to the edge of the map anymore. I didn't want to be like that New Mexico that's behind me. And so far up on the edge of the map that I basically take myself out of the battle for the next couple of minutes. And that's when a enemy destroyer pops up, and I had no idea that he was even over here. Because I hadn't seen him the whole time. And I'm doing a really bad job of shooting here. And I finally get it, the my 1000. Had to zoom out a little bit there because I just couldn't see my shells coming out very well. And now we're landing some pretty good shots on him. Unfortunately, he just took out our friendly carrier, which really sucks. Not that it mattered that much anyways, because they weren't really scouting all too much. I unfortunately did not see those destroyers spotted very often at all this game. I think it would have been it wouldn't have been very close of a game had our carriers been spotted, but, you know, it is what it is. And unfortunately for him, he used his repair on one of the earlier salvos when I knocked out his engine, and I knocked it out again. He's almost at a dead stop right now, and that's when I decided to or that's when he decided to go ahead and smoke up. So I can't see him right now, but that's fine. You know, if he wants to keep on firing, he's kind of going to get his position away in the smoke, which is fine by me because it's going to tell me where I need to send my torpedoes. And unfortunately, I get hit right there, I get set on fire, and then the battleship behind him takes a shot at me and actually lands like a shell on me. And I am detected by airplanes, and that's why I haven't put out the fire yet, because I really don't want to get hit by another HE shell and get caught on fire. But at this point, I feel like I really thought I was going to hit him with some torpedoes, but I didn't. So I got a little bit scared right here because my repair is going to be on cooldown for a little while. And the reason I turned into the destroyer right there was when you're that close to a ship, a lot of times the torpedoes don't have time to arm, so if he had dumped those torpedoes off at me at that point in time, because I was so close to his ship, they probably would have just hit my ship harmlessly and not done anything. And I popped the smoke right here on purpose. I'm trying to get enough distance in between me and this ship so that I'm no longer auto-spotted or proximity to spotted. That's why I used my engine boost there. But his secondaries are just ripping me up. And I fire off one right there. I wait till I get around a little bit more to the side so that my torpedoes have a little bit better chance of hitting him. And that's when we hit him, take him out. That battleship probably should have killed me, but he wasn't that great of a shot. But he still did quite a number on me. But yeah, what you saw there, even though he was spotting me through the smoke, it was a proximity detection. Anybody that's close, like 2 kilometers or closer to you, regardless of smoke screens or even terrain, you know, if you're within 2 kilometers of somebody on the other side of an island and they have no line of sight on you, you'll still pop up on the map. So just a little tidbit of information there. And also the arming distance. I'm not sure what the arming distance is on torpedoes. I think that's like a stat that it's a soft stat, like nobody can see it. Well, I shouldn't say soft, it's a hidden stat. But it seems like if you're about a ship's distance away, you know, from somebody who's launching torpedoes, typically they don't arm when they hit you. So something to keep in mind if you're charging down a torpedo boat. You know, go for the ram if you think they've got the upper hand, but otherwise, you know, just get as close as you possibly can and pass on by. And whatever you do, don't continue your turn, because once you pass a torpedo boat, if you turn, you know, they're probably gonna hit you with a torpedo. The best thing you can do is run away from them in a straight line and wait for their torpedoes to disperse enough to fit in between them. Or kind of what I did to that Mitsuki was I acted like I was going to turn right. I hit my rudder that way, so it gave the prediction cone of going right, and then as soon as he fired his torpedoes, I turned back left. It was very minute turns, but they were there. And at this point, it's just one enemy carrier and a Cleveland. One of our destroyers ran across the map and sunk the other carrier, which made my fleet mate pretty salty. But as I told him, if he'd have been scouting, it wouldn't have happened to him. Could have run away from it. But all we have left now is this Cleveland and the enemy carrier over there. So kind of blazing away at this Cleveland. He's not going to last very long. Trying to hit the back of his ship where it looks like it's least damaged, so soak up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and switch fire to this carrier because that Cleveland's just about done. I'm pretty sure the secondaries from the battleship are going to take care of them. And this is going to be the end of the game. I unfortunately forgot to take screenshots of the results screen, but I was on the top of the list, 2,400 XP, and I got about 400,000 credits. But this is basically going to be the game right here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.